Hey world, Dr. Barbara Eaton and Tristan Schaub from ChiroSushi. I'm so excited to do this interview today. And one of the reasons I asked Tristan to do it when we were talking yesterday about like, why am I doing this interview? You know, he was like, are you interviewing me? Am I interviewing you? And I was like, no, because I think so many individuals, like you're so gracious to interview them and they show up on obviously the ChiroSushi pages, but how many of you really know Tristan? Like he has an amazing story. So I just had to interview him today so all of you could get to know him better, to see just like how gigantic his heart is. And for him to, I think also like just share the reality of what it's like to be an entrepreneur, having done lots of stuff along the ways from startup.
Failed a lot.
Yeah. And you know, I was just talking, my dad is like my biggest fan. I love him so much. And he and I were on yeah, he's amazing. He's always like, doll, you can, like we were talking about, he's listening to 10X right now. And he was like, you're not 10X, you're 100X. I'm like, thanks, Dad. Like he's just so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for the goddess injection you've helped give ChiroSushi, and the support that you've shown for us. We're really, really grateful. We send a lot of love back your way, and I just can't thank you enough, because you get it. You see the bigger picture. You kind of know where we're going. It's aligned with what you want to do, and so I'm really grateful for our connection and our future collaborative partnerships.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and thanks so much for involving me. I'm super grateful, and Tristan and I were just talking about some philosophy stuff of building up the base at Logan. So a shout out to all my Logan alum. And I was saying to him how when I was in, oh gosh, I think it was trimester 4 or 5 at Logan, a group of us used to drive 2.5 hours one way to Cape Girardeau. Mm-hmm. Midi high, and Rob Kessinger would just open his doors and check us all. He's knee chest guy, phenomenal doctor, and talk philosophy with us and encourage us and really just like ground us in what is chiropractic. It's not all of this other stuff. This is chiropractic, and I'm just so thankful that God led me to him and the group that we were. So I just want to shout out to Dr. Rob Kessinger as well, to encourage all doctors who are watching this, open your doors, like have students come into your office. I had preceptors all the time. Anyone that wanted to come and follow around. It was kind of funny because we ended up having like Chiro hour of like all the local chiropractors would come to my office and get adjusted. So that was like super fun. But I encourage all of you to do that if you're not doing it now. So let's jump right in and let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. What was your first startup? How did that go?
It burned out within 4 months.
I had awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was 22 and I had started a promotion agency in upstate New York for trying to bring high profile or mid profile bands to Syracuse, New York. And it was going to be kind of like a talent entertainment agency. We had no clue what we were doing. It was my buddy who worked he was at K-Rock. We worked for AT&T slinging phones, and we both were just like, we got to do more. We got to do something. And then within like 4 months, we had no idea about organization, doing DBA stuff. We just literally threw everything together. We did get one really great band. They're no longer, they're called Strata. They were a cool band from California to come out. And we had a really great party, and then we didn't do anything. But really, my first successful startup was a program called Avaca, which was a thought mind consciousness organization that worked with adult probationers in San Francisco for everything from domestic violence to anger management to drug and alcohol problems. And we became the first ever court order approved live virtual classroom. This is back in like 2008. And we then pivoted to the consumer side, and we became kind of online anger management. And then we had another consumer side, which was like stress management. But the root was all thought mind consciousness, which really, if you look back, is kind of what chiropractic's based on. It's you're authentically born healthy. you are not, it's not cognitive behavioral therapy, which would be kind of the allopathic way of you're wrong, you need this to fix this.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like Sid Banks, Eckhart Tolle, and we developed our own curriculum. And within 6 months, we went from doing $3,000 a month to doing $18,000 a month. And within a year and a half to 2 years, we were integrated into San Francisco city government, which acquired us. So that was my first kind of successful startup. I really was proud of the virtual element of what we created. And that's where I kind of cut my teeth on everything from SEO to marketing. And I just integrated myself in. And this is before people started using the term startup like a big buzzword, And then I got into the healthcare startup scene. And so my first successful one was Avaca. It was fun. I was really grateful to help a lot of people. And then Doctor Base happened, and that was like the most successful one I've been a part of.
So let's go back to, you said like your first startup fizzled out in 4 months. A lot of people, they meet with that kind of challenge and they're like, oh, well, I guess I'm just not good at entrepreneurialism, or I guess maybe it was the wrong thing. Like what kept you engaged and back in the ring to just say, it is what it is. It's in the past, and let's just keep rocking forward.
I don't want to be boring. I can't live this life of being owned by. I mean, I've had jobs. I mean, I was a regional manager for AT&T for the Northeast Coast. I mean, I ran one of the most successful divisions of Movie Gallery. I was a regional manager for a video chain, and everywhere I've been, they made money when I was there, and when I wasn't there, they crumbled or they would have issues. And what's up, Jimmy?
Yeah.
So I just really said, I want to own what I'm doing. It's not about the money. The money's cool. But it's really about, one of my mentors, John Kim, who's going to be speaking at the ChiroSushi Summit. We used to talk about Doctor Base. It's about putting imagine having a sticker on the back of a bus. Like you see you're sitting on the bus in San Francisco and you see one of your stickers or your badges, like someone put on your like the bus frame. And it's like, that's what it's about. It's about pride and legacy and owning your stuff. And so for me, I was too, as Jeff Buckley would say, too young to hold on and too old to break free and run. So I really think I'm in that happy place where it's like, I'm too dumb to know to stop, and I'm too smart to know that this is the right way to go.
Yeah, and I think it's a mindset too. Like you said, it's not just the money. It's like for me, it's also living the chiropractic principle of if I'm really going to be talking optimum potential, then that's like holographic. It's optimum potential being a mother. It's optimum potential, like being my very best as a wife, being my very best as a daughter, being my very best for my clients, just like massive action all in every aspect of your life, because it doesn't take any more time to be successful than it does to be unsuccessful. And, I think we're both obviously huge fans of Grant Cardone. I love something that he says, that success isn't like a natural resource that gets used up.
No.
And just because Tristan is successful doesn't mean I can't be. I can be successful too. And if we were all operating and vibrating at that frequency,
well, the antithesis is there too, because being a loser and being unsuccessful, we see that all around. There's enough of that to go around. And you're absolutely right. You can waste more time being unsuccessful than it is to be, uber successful. And it can take a day. It literally can pivot on a day with the right idea, with the right implementation, with the right collaborative partnerships, where that epiphany of that light bulb goes off and you say, this is it. And I went through that at Doctor Base, where my role with Doctor Base was I came on as a co-founder. Doctor Base is now a part of Cario. It's a big HR company where we were acquired 2 years ago. But we developed the software as a service company to do text and email reminders. Well, first we started out as blogs for doctors. Then we went to email and text reminders. Then we went to mobile health. So like every 6, 7, 8 months, we were pivoting, trying to stay ahead of the scene. And it was really cool because our competitors like Demand Force at one time, and some people might know Demand Force, Smile Reminder in the chiropractic space. Demand Force was getting purchased by Intuit for like $150 million or $173 million. I remember that day it happened because I literally cried because I'm like, we're on the right track, But we were just trying to figure out, how do we scale this? How do we make, we're getting 2 signups a day, and then 2 days later we get 1. And then a couple days we wouldn't get any signups. How the heck can we scale this, make this consistent, that we're getting 2 to 3? How can we get a hat trick a day? And where we struggled with that was, you know, all the stuff that you do in chiropractic is like the same thing. How do I get from 4 new patients to 6 new patients a week to 50 new patients a week? And the answer was to be consistently consistent. The problem was I was, as running my sales team, consistently inconsistent. Our marketing team was consistently inconsistent. We had a great product. We had really smart people around us, but we would pivot so much. Once we got down on the you know, this is the same thing chiropractors go through. It's like, let me add some supplements. Let me add this. Yeah. All that stuff is great, and you can make more money with it. But get grounded with these 2 things first, and scale that. More importantly, you're absolutely right there. Scale that, and get consistently consistent with your message to your patients, where it's literally an elevator pitch. So once we developed the 5-pitch slide deck, I mean, we went through a brutal role play. John Kim's going to be at the summit, and we're going to talk about this role play because I wanted to throw him through a window one day because he was just brutalizing me. He's like, this pitch sucks. That's garbage. And I'm like, it really is. You know, it was too pitchy. It wasn't humanized. And he said one thing to me. He goes, speak to me like an Asian man with a math complex. Now, he's Asian, so he can say that.
Okay.
So I said, and it clicked for me. And that's what I'm saying. As soon as he said that, I go, oh, boom. And I started going, hey, doc, 73% of our doctors struggle with new patient reactivation. 19% are struggling with reduced no-shows costing them this amount of money. And I was like, oh, my God. You know, so we got our pitch down, and then we became consistently consistent. Then our marketing became consistently consistent. So like you just said, you pointed to the mind. The biggest barrier I had was I kept putting myself in the role of I'm a salesman. And so I was doing 1980 style, pick up the phone, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And I had enough energy to get a couple, but not enough to scale. And so that was really a lesson learned, that you can pivot on a day, you can get an epiphany on a day. And literally with the next day after we did this brutal role play, we had 4 signups. Every day forward, we had 3.5 average sign up for about a year. You know, so
that's awesome.
Closing 67% of our demos. So.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah. And so the whole consistency is vital. Like I'll admit, I've been all over the place in the last several years, and it's so funny because now it's just like back to basics. It's you know, I did this when I first started, and this is how I got into coaching, and now it's like back to that. So docs, like I was just having this conversation with my dad this morning about how important it is to first be really good at what you were trained for. Like there's nothing like chiropractic. There's never been a better time to tell people the story and adjust them. Never, ever, ever been a better time. Like we see the whole insurance model crumbling. We finally, and I don't care if you're a Trump fan or not, I am, and America is going to be great again. And he's looking at all of the broken pieces of the healthcare model. It is a phenomenal time to be a doctor of chiropractic, to have a cash practice. And Tristan and I are going to be telling you more about that, probably not on this broadcast, at a later time. But it's that consistency. And I remember Tony Palermo taught me when I was coaching with him, success is boring. Yeah. And what that means is the consistency by which you have to carry out systems. So I'm a coach, I'm a teacher. There are 4 elements, and I'm sure Tristan would agree with me, of a successful system. It must be measurable, reproducible, innovative, and we must eliminate discretion. And the hardest thing is that discretion. Like days when maybe your numbers would go down, it's tempting to change course, right? It's tempting to pivot. It's tempting to look for something else. But instead, if you even just listen to what Tristan was saying, they were just focused on, all right, how do we get more calls? How do we get more people in the funnel? It wasn't like, oh, let's look at doing something else. It's how do we perfect what we're already doing? And that is just so incredibly vital. So here's a question. What are the biggest entrepreneur lessons you've learned along the journey?
So I've had three really big mentors that I consider. One is my father, who's a chiropractor, and I grew up in a chiropractic practice. And the biggest thing I learned from him was sacrifice. I truly believe that you're going to have to suck it up and put your big boy and big girl pants on sometimes. And say, I just was talking about this with someone earlier. The young docs out there, that's why we created ChiroSushi. Really was the genesis was the 64% of the students that are coming out of school are not practicing. That sucks. Yeah. And so the ones that are practicing are struggling. So we said, we need to develop this program and a resource that can help doctors. And the goal was, hey, help them make more money, save money, make their life easier. Really simple. If we can, to say. And so my first thing is I would say to these individuals out there, look, I just talked to a young doc 2 weeks ago who has called me and said, should I become an associate or should I start my practice? I'm ready to sign my contract to become an associate. And he goes, but I'm not going to own the patients that I treat. And I said, no, that's the give and take, man. You're going to get practice. You're going to get a regular paycheck. He goes, but it's only $56,000 a year. I can't afford that. I go, then start your own practice. I go, the bigger, higher risk, higher reward. That's right. But at the same time, dude had 3-bedroom apartment when he only needs one. Now he's living with his girlfriend. Suck it up. You guys can get a studio. He's got a $500 car payment. Suck it up. Get a $150 car payment or $200 car payment. And, we live in this entitled society now where I think, my generation and younger, we want it all. And you're not going to have it all at first. Yeah. You really, we talk about Grant, he has that famous saying where he says, you're up like you already made it. I'm up like I'm broke. You really need to live on ramen. When I was at Dr. Base, I lived in an SRO, which is a single residency occupancy in San Francisco. My neighbors were pimps, prostitutes. There was so much meth being passed around. I had one room and the shower was in the same room, literally. I had a microwave, a little TV. I lived there for a year and a half. $1,500 in San Francisco. That's how much an SRO goes for. But literally, it was a crack house. And I did that because we couldn't afford to pay me the money that was coming in on our sales because we were bootstrapping. And so, I don't know how I know my father lived at his office for like the first 2 or 3 years. Like he literally lived there. Mm-hmm. So sacrifice. The second thing is you got to get uncomfortable. So the thing I learned at Avaca was you got to feel, you know what? Jenny was my co-partner there. She was a transgender individual. I was new to getting involved with this type of, quality of life in San Francisco, but I was like, okay, get uncomfortable. And then I started working with her. And before she transitioned, she was the founder of one of the biggest carpet cleaning products out there. I mean, huge conglomerate. And she got wiped out because she wanted to change her life and change who she was. But she taught me something was you got to do things that are uncomfortable. And here's one of the things that I did that was uncomfortable. We had this program that was developed for employees assistance programs for anger management. So instead of firing your employees, you would have to send them to us so we can put them through our program and they'll come back better people, more loving, and better employees. Don't fire them. It costs you more money to fire and then hire new people. Plus you have problems with legality stuff in California for firing people for certain reasons. So one of the things that we did is we used to call HR heads. And I would call up, I get on my phone, I call an HR company and I say, hey, can you send me over your release of information? We have a mutual client, an employee of yours that's going to be working with us. And the HR person confused would go, what do you mean release of confidentiality? Who are you? Oh, we're with Avaca. We do stress and anger management for employee assistance programs. We also do drug and alcohol rehab. And the HR person would immediately start going, well, who's in the program? And I would say, I can't tell you that, sir or ma'am, because they need to join we need a release of confidentiality. And this was all a lie. Okay. I would then call back 2 or 3 days later after this person was either stressed out or thinking about, it sounds awful now, but this is it. Do things that you have to get uncomfortable. BJ Palmer said, in his famous quote, I will fight above the law, to the law. This is what we need to do in chiropractic. I'm not saying break the law, but you need to go above and beyond. So I would call the HR company and I would say, hey, I called you a couple days ago. It was actually, they put down the wrong employer. It was a past employer. They're with someone else now. Can I send you some information on what we do to help companies like yourself? And they would be like, yeah, I want to learn more about what this program is.
Yeah.
So I just put a flashlight on everything, and that's what we have to do. So it's a little trickery. It was a little manipulation in a way. You can call it whatever it is, but it scaled us to 18 grand a month in 6 months.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
get uncomfortable. Last thing I'll say is, as I lovingly say, it would be eat, S-H-I-T, but I'll say eat crap. You have to eat crap. So the lessons I learned is you're going to be eating a lot of crap in your life. You're going to have to learn to like it, enjoy it, get used to the taste of it, because this is not an easy journey. And there are moments every day. I'm serious. Every day I'm kind of like, there's a thought.
Yes.
Why am I doing this? Yeah. Literally, why am I doing this? And then I stop it. I just go, you know what? It's fine. I enjoy eating crap. So those are my 3 lessons.
Yeah, that's right. I've learned to put some jalapenos on it and take a bigger scoop, right?
Yeah.
I love spicy food, so that works for me.
Perfect.
And so, I think something that Grant Cardone, I love the idea of, basically you have 2 choices for fear every day as an entrepreneur. You can be fearful of, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the bills? Or you can be fearful because you're jumping into something brand new you've never done before, and you figure out your landing on the way down. And obviously Dr. Dan Golden, he wrote something about that of you gotta be, it's really, entrepreneurialism is about being uncomfortable. And here's and I know you'll agree with me on this, the whole idea of you don't come out retired, right? No. You don't go into practice retired. Like I was saying to my dad that this whole idea of working 20 or 30 hours a week, honestly, it has always rubbed me wrong, because out of one mouth, as chiropractors will say, I want to serve the masses. I want to help everybody, just give me some spines and let me adjust. But then over here on this side, but I only want to do it in 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Why?
I want to surf. I want to do this other stuff. I don't know. I don't have the answer, but it's the wrong answer. And you know what? We're not going to get anywhere where, if we want to become either what I think we should be, which is a utility tool. I mean, I think we should be like what Facebook is, what our light bulb, gas, and electric company is. We're essential. But I grew up in chiropractic. So when people come to me and they want to talk philosophy, I'm like, I'm the worst, because I'm like, look, when I'm sick, I get on the table. When I'm not sick, I get on the table. This is a true story. I used to bring every girl that I was going to go out with back home to my dad in my early 20s, in my teenagers. And I'd be like, hey, meet my dad. Look at the magic tricks he can do. Because I knew that it would make her a better, you know where I'm going with this, right?
That's right.
So I don't really care about that part. I mean, I care about that part, but I know it so innately. What I'm concerned about is if we want to get to where we need to be, you're absolutely right. We're going to have to, we have to suck it up, and you're going to have to work Saturdays. And guess what? The other thing you have to do, 30%, up to 30% of your patients should be free. We need to start working with lower city income individuals who would adapt to our lifestyle. The Hispanic, I'm not saying the Hispanic culture is a lower income, but we have a higher prevalence of Hispanic, African American, and lower income cities. I mean, this is just the reality of life. It's amazing when we get those individuals incorporated into the chiropractic lifestyle. They embrace it so much because they have the culture behind them that has been, through their life and generations, trained them that natural is the way to go. They're skeptical of everyone trying to sell them something, but we're not serving them. We're focused on the Colorado, blonde hair, $100,000 a year husband, 2 kids, minivan, soccer mom. It's who we focus on. It's who most of the videos are with chiropractic testimonials. It's about my kid and their ear infections. That's great. But we need to start 30%, I would say, is max. You can't do any more than that. But if you can get a goal of 12% of your practice being pro bono, free care.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's an answer. So working Saturdays, giving more care away, and not giving care away by saying I didn't get paid by the insurance company. That doesn't count.
Or people who walk out and have an outstanding bill. So
yeah, get a credit card on file system for that. That will answer your problems there.
Yeah. You know, I used to do something called Doctor with a Heart, and a lot of my clients do it. And
I agree with Fred there. Fred just wrote something. A lot of them were the Hispanic culture is a very loving and they're a very touch-oriented. I know this because I have a Latina girlfriend, and I'm German, and she likes to touch. She's like, I need skin hunger. I got skin hunger, and I'm like, I'm German. It's too much. I need my time. So.
That's right. Space here, boundaries.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. So you were to say yes.
Yeah, so I did a Doctor with a Heart once a month. And what it was is anyone could come in on that day. And it was like, so I had packages. And so the lowest price of my biggest package, anyone that day could come in and get adjusted. That's how much it was. I started at 7 a.m. I took my last practice member at 11:45. Yep. You know, it was usually just like a packed house. And I also found that then when I was doing a report of findings, as someone threw up the I can't afford it thing, I would tell them about Doctor with a Heart. And if they're like, well, I can't come on Saturdays, then I knew, all right, so I don't really have a practice member. They want to come in for the discount when I'm serving people who are paying. And I loved it. My practice members loved it. I have clients that have used it quite successfully, but I still think it needs to be, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
It has to be a system and never do so much for people who don't have that you piss off the people who are paying your overhead and paying your lifestyle, right? Please don't hear what Tristan is saying here of having a box on the wall. That I promise.
Oh no. I've heard stories of that. I don't understand. You know, I think Sisyphus did that. I think Sisyphus. I don't know if I think he did that. I don't know the story, but
okay, but that was a different day.
Yeah, this is a different day. Time. But here's what I'm saying. The other side of the fence is use the philanthropy. You know, Biz Stone, the founder of Twitter, said in 2015 that philanthropy is going to be the new marketing. So don't just give away and not get anything in return. Give away, but use it to help promote and market. So like that perfect example of Doctor with a Heart is like, here's a set time. This works within my infrastructure. I'm also going to leverage it. I'm going to do a press release. I'm going to notify my local newspaper. I'm going to market this on Facebook. There's nothing. Yeah. If anyone comes down on you and starts slamming you because you're giving away free care and you're marketing it, then they're out of their mind. There's no way it's going to happen. So, even if it's once a month, going into a church or something like that and collaborating with the church to say, I'll help. Let's do it. Let's do some neighborhood marketing together. Mm-hmm. There is nothing wrong. That's the caveat I should have threw on there. They're up to 30%, but whatever you give away, you should expect in return for patients giving you testimonials, doing marketing with your local newspaper, doing social media marketing with it. So that was the caveat. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. And one that I walked in parades a lot. That was like, I actually got on a cable show and all kinds of stuff. We had kids dressed up as vertebrae. And then it was like, it was awesome. Like my nephew was a spine. And then, there were, I think we had, 13 vertebrae or something. And so it was at night and they had flashlights and, we'd walk along and have fun. And I'd say chiropractic and they'd get into alignment and turn their flashlights on and say power on. And I'd say subluxation. They'd jump out of alignment and say power off. And so,
cute.
Yeah.
That was
awesome.
Creative. That was creative.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. That was like the first week I was open. So I had this huge open house. We marched in a parade. And then every opportunity I had to march in a parade, I did because my practice members, my adult practice members, maybe who had never played on a sport, loved marching in the parade. And that was one of the give backs of the people with Doctor with the Heart is they would be my team. They would be my tribe. Yeah. They would be my ambassadors and, and hand out stuff. And it was tons and tons of fun and awesome about the press release. You can also obviously because locally grown is also a really popular thing and good for people. You can do like even a barter where Doctor with a Heart also becomes that someone is going to contribute like what they've grown or what they've done, and other people get to take from it. And so then it also, it promotes their business. It helps others. Maybe there's a family that has a child who's sick who really needs non-GMO food. And so this is a way for the family who maybe has like access to great products, but maybe they can't sell them on their own, but this is a way that they can also help other people. So, Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. Yeah, The Tipping Point of Mavens and Connectors. Like, I'm definitely a connector, and I connected all kinds of people in my practice and do it now, but connecting people who otherwise don't know how to connect one another. And I think Doctor with a Heart, or like the charity thing, and totally, yes, please make sure when you do these kinds of things, get publicity for it. Heck, we'll teach you how to do one of these Facebook Lives at it. Why not? Like, it's easy to do. And I will tell anyone who's watching this, I do have a page set up to do tests. If you want to practice it, Tristan and I are more than happy to get on and do one of these with you so that you can be doing it for your own page and your own practice. I would love to do that for you and teach you how to do it. The first one is the hardest. And then after that, you don't even care that this is your bedhead for the night. So this is how I roll, a little bit of lipstick and I'm good to go. So let's talk ChiroSushi. What is ChiroSushi? I mean, obviously Dr. Dan put it down there, but tell us more. How did it get started and what's the scoop?
Yeah, what is it? Let me say what we are and what we're not. We're not a practice management group. We're a resource. We have one event that we scheduled for this year. We have the same bat channel next year that we're booked for. We probably will start breaking out maybe mini group sessions, but really what it is a collaborative partnership of doctors and teachers and experts and entrepreneurs, where we're focused on really the niche of growing your practice. It's business practice, building, marketing, communication, tips, tricks, growth hacks, all those buzzwords. But really what we are is we're a resource. We're a one-stop shop for doctors to get a lot of free content. The only thing we sell is tickets to our ChiroSushi Summit, which is this coming up May 3rd through May 7th. We have a bunch of different leaders with all different backgrounds. We have Dr. Liam Schubel, who's scaled 22 clinics in South America. We got the coach of the coaches, Dr. Charles Ward. We have Dr. Caroline Griffin. We have Brandy McDonald, the team of queens, or the queen of teams. And we have Dr. Bo Pierce and Dr. Aram Tahir. And Grant Cardone is going to be our keynote speaker and closing keynote speaker. So it's all about, and you get CE credits there. So it's a one-stop shop event with everything for building your practice. You're going to come back with so many strategies, tips, tools to accelerate your referrals. And then we have ChiroSushi.com, and that's our free. That's every day you can go to ChiroSushi.com, sign up for our emails, and you're going to get just resources. We do podcasts with individuals like Dr. Eaton. We do webinars. We monetize by our partnerships. So if anyone has any questions about that, we do have partnerships and we monetize there. But we're really a resource. And so if our goal is we want to help the younger doctors specifically get involved with coaches and leaders like Dr. Eaton, Dr. Palermo we talked about earlier, Dr. Schubel. Everyone has a different program, and it might resonate with different people. And so we're a gateway. I would say we're a third-party gateway to help get people involved there, if that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So, but why did you do it? Like, why, in your heart, what was your why for starting ChiroSushi? And, like, how did you get that name? So the name was just innately came to me. It was just a cool name. And then it made sense after I said it out loud. And I was like, it's raw. It's delicious. It's assortment. If you go into a sushi restaurant, you can get a spicy tuna roll, and you can get teriyaki, and you can get miso soup. It's so diverse. And so I would say the name really reflects who we are, is that you can come and you can get information on how to grow your practice with prenatal care, You can come and learn how to become the better straight chiropractor if you want to be a mixer. We're a group of individuals that say, just let's love and embrace chiropractic. Let's celebrate our differences. We're not trying to unite the profession, but we are trying to unite the pathway to success. And so it was really built because Tim Schaub, my dad, he wanted to help the younger docs. Like we said, 64% of them are not practicing. And we truly believe that this profession's at a real precipice of time. We are at the best time in our history to become a chiropractor, but also the most dangerous time where we could fall off and we could become subservience to the healthcare paradigm. And I think that we need to train people to become business owners, entrepreneurs. They need to embrace and own that. And that is going to be the pathway to success for chiropractic, because we are at this precipice of time.
So Tim just wrote ChiroSushi, the raw, delicious, and organic truth about chiropractic. So Tim, I'm adding non-GMO too. And the reason I think that that's funny, my brother has grows non-GMO chickens that are pastured and stuff, but ChiroSushi is not bought. It's not for sale. It doesn't have all kinds of toxic ingredients of, they're only loyal to this college, or they're only loyal to this group, or they're only ICA, or they're only ACA. It's not like that. It's non-GMO.
No, we don't have any BS. We have we're not tied to a board of directors.
Yeah.
The individuals such as yourself who become a part of, we really are looking at this as a collaborative partnership within the community to say, what do you want to do? What do these students want? And every doctor is coming up with different things. A lot of doctors need technical help. So we offer tools and tricks and resources for technical help. Doctors want to know how to set up their businesses. We have tools, resources, and content for that. Yeah. So I think that we're just starting out. I believe this summer after the summit, you guys are going to be really blown away with some of the tools and partnerships that we have. And I'm stoked. I think I'm grateful for the people that jumped on. And look, in the year, we've grown 5,000 Facebook group people, 7,000 followers on our Facebook fan page. I think the movement's happening. I really do. And it's not a bowel movement. It's a real movement.
That's awesome. So let's for anyone watching, what is the difference of what's going to happen at the summit and what traditionally happens at conventions? I feel like so many times at conventions you go and no events, I'm not trying to be mean to any convention, but it's all about the stars on the stage and they make their appearance and then they jam. And my understanding of how it used to be wasn't that at all. It used to be the speakers then engaged with the students. They engaged with the audience. So
yeah, the cool thing. So some differences are what we're hoping to be differences. Let's start with, there's not a huge sales-a-thon. We have a very limited amount of we do need partners and vendors to help get this thing off the ground. But we're not going to have this big, huge expo hall that's not like, as Dr. Jim Sigafus took my father by his arm one day at a seminar to be named nameless and said, that's not chiropractic. Okay. There was 130 vendors in the showroom, and we do have partners that we vetted and we feel that are a good fit for you and your practice where you want to go. Number two, we have integration of different content niches, from scaling different practice models with the speakers to how to develop your mission, to how to be an entrepreneur in your practice, to really narrow niche with social media marketing on retargeting, Google AdWords. So you're actually walking away with strategy. This is not a why seminar. If you don't know your why, I still say come, because I think you'll get a little bit of your why there. But this is more a how. This is a how to do this. And what's different is, I think the speakers we have are very great speakers. They're entertainers. You're going to have fun. But more importantly, it's going to be what happens at 10 o'clock at night and circling up with this group here. You want to learn how to get on TV? We got Dr. Alex Vidan, who's going to be there in the share session, and throughout the whole week he'll be there. If you want to work on your thought, mind, consciousness, beliefs, and the problems that are happening at the root cause analysis of why you're struggling, Dr. Aram Tahir is going to be there. And these individuals have guaranteed me that they're going to go out and they're going to say, hey, I'm going to take this group of a dozen docs who want to partner up and we'll go to lunch together. It's about what happens in the hallways.
Yep.
It's about what happens at the bar. It's about what happens at the gym. And so this is where the movement comes in. Our speakers, we really don't want, where what's happened is a lot of these events, the speakers come in and they speak and then they leave right after. And so we're not having that. So we really are, this is a full day. And this is a lot. I know a lot of people are asking the questions of, whoa, it's Wednesday through Sunday. If you really look at the schedule, it's really Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a bulk of classes with CE. Wednesday night, we have an opening share session. Sunday morning, we have a social media all-star panel. Do you have to stay for everything? No.
Yeah.
You can come when you want. We made it very affordable for individuals. I think you'll have a blast. I think more importantly, I guarantee this. If you're not coming back within a month and you haven't implemented the tools and strategies that you picked up there, if you have implemented it and you have not increased your revenue by like 18%, in a month, this is how much I value what we're going to do, then I'll give you your money back. I'll give you your money back for your ticket. I'll give you your money back for your flight. I'll give you your money back for your hotel room.
That's awesome.
That's how much I believe in what we're going to do.
And the caveat to that is how this whole conversation started. You have to be consistent, though. Like, you can't just show up at your office on Monday morning excited and be fizzled out on Friday and be like, oh, Summit sucked.
Well, this is where we come in, though. It doesn't stop there. That's just kind of the crap. Come back to ChiroSushi.com. We're going to have, this is the other thing. We're going to have some great not giveaways. You're taking home. We're going to have ebooks sent out to the attendees. You're going to have all this stuff laid out for you. You're going to have the manual. We have some really great stuff. But every day you can come to ChiroSushi.com and pick up stuff that can help you grow your practice.
So you said ChiroSushi.com. Is that as opposed to the Facebook page? Like, where should docs be hanging out? And
everywhere. Facebook group. We have the Facebook group, private group, which is ChiroSushi, Facebook.com/ChiroSushi. Our Facebook page, you can get content. You can also get our memes. I encourage people to. I did a podcast with Dr. Langmaid over at the Evidence-Based Chiropractor last night about humor and how funny is money. We have over 700, 800 images that you can use to share with your practice members to make you look like you're the most funny person in the world, to engage them. And then you can go to ChiroSushi.com, sign up for our emails. I do private emails with even more tips. And basically, this is just 100% given away. The only thing that we're looking for is come to our event. Come really become part of this. Own this with us.
So I have to say something funny. So
yeah.
Dr. Tim put something about Cinco de Mayo. So can I tell you a funny story about Cinco de Mayo?
Yes, please.
And this is such the entrepreneur thing. So my father-in-law worked for Vandecamps, and he was like a regional manager, everything west of the Mississippi back in the day.
Oh, cool.
And and so they had all of these things throughout the year, but all of the vendors, whether it was beer or whatever else, just kind of slowed down. There wasn't really anything in May. And so he called up Budweiser and Tostitos and a couple of places and was like, hey, what do you guys think of let's make a Cinco de Mayo and let's put it together, and we'll encourage people to buy Mexican beer and buy Tostitos and this whole Cinco de Mayo thing, which really to the Mexican culture means nothing except that there was a Cinco de Mayo, but it's not really something huge. That he's the one that said it's a publicity. That's kind of.
Well, can I share this story about Cinco de Mayo too?
Yeah.
I'll share something real quick. And then I got to run, but I'll tell you this story real quick. Okay. Cinco de Mayo is really about the Mexican army versus the French army. The French army was the premier army. It was what America is now, and the Mexican army was this little, small, tiny army. And it's the little engine that could story, really, if you want to cut to the chase. But here's the deal. the war, the war that Cinco de Mayo celebrates, the victory that it celebrates, the Mexican army was 6-1 odds, essentially 6,000 French supreme premier army individuals versus this 1,000 strong Mexican army, and the Mexican army won.
Yeah.
You know, so that was kind of for us. All these things are coming. Here's what's going to happen in Vegas that weekend: the Kentucky Derby, Cinco de Mayo. There's a Canelo fight. I mean, it is. The hotel came to us and said, "Can we buy some of the rooms back?" Because the demand's going to be about $300 to $500 a night that weekend, and we're selling rooms for $69 a night.
You know, it's crazy. Like I don't understand anyone who's watching this and you haven't made plans to be there yet. Like,
well, what I'm the entrepreneur in me is going to buy the rest of our block rate, whatever we don't sell, and resell them. So I'm just telling you guys that right now.
Absolutely. I saw that, and I think that is awesome. Shout out to my Chiro sisters who are joining me: Dr. Tammy Karp, Dr. Christy Bacati, Dr. Sandra Moore, Dr. JJ Richards.
Are we doing the Kentucky? Are we doing the Toby Keith bar thing? Are you guys really going to bring me to the Toby Keith and make me do a little?
Yes, yes. And if you like, join the Chiro sisters. We're going to Toby Keith. I'm not sure Friday night or Saturday night. If you want to make sure you're hooked up with all kinds of fun, private message me. I'll give you my cell phone number to make sure we can be connected. If you're going and you don't know anybody, I'll give you my cell phone number. You can sit with us.
You're such a beautiful soul, Doc. I love working with you, and thank you so much for having me on here today. I look forward to everything that we can do to share, and you are so aligned with what we do at ChiroSushi because it's about giving, and you give so much on a daily basis, from your talks on retention to your marketing ideas to your communication ideas, and you realize that the fact that it's going to take repetition with these. The reason we talk about the same things over and over is because I'm one of them. It's taken a while. It took me 20 years to figure out I shouldn't be destroying my body and self-destructing. So, you know, and I grew up in a chiropractic family, so I feel bad for the people that didn't. So I thank you so much. I give you a big virtual hug. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, everyone. ChiroSushi Summit. Join us. We'd love to see you. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.